Mhm. Aloha, Charlene. Mahalo for joining us. I'm gonna start so that we can make sure that we're on time. And this is being recorded, so it can be reviewed at a later time if you would like to review it again or for others who don't make it tonight. Okay. My name is Lisa. I'm with Project Hokuleni at UH Manoa, and joining me is Hyjin Park. She is our PI on the project. And then also joining us tonight, we have three experts in the field of admissions from UH Manoa, UH Hilo, and UH West Oahu. So our first person that will be sharing tonight is Landon Ballesteros. And Landon is UH Hilo's admission counselor based on the island of Oahu. He was born and raised on Maui. Landon graduated from UH Hilo with his bachelor's in performing arts and minors in Hawaiian studies and biology. He also graduated from UH Manoa with his master's in education administration. In his free time, you might find him performing in musicals at community theaters on Oahu. Landon is not a novice to Project Hokuleni. He has been a guest speaker with us before. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Landon to share his knowledge with us tonight.
Mahalo, Lisa, and mahalo, Project Hokulani, for having us tonight. I'm gonna put up my slides real fast. Can you guys see it on full screen? Okay, thank you. All right, so yeah, this is the University of Hawaii at Hilo. So, really, I want to take this as an opportunity to promote our campus as a way for students to get over to the Big Island and study in a very natural and living learning laboratory. As you folks see, I think we're on episode 42 of the Kilauea eruptions right now. So, yeah, the island is a great way for students to get really focus on hands-on and place-based learning. Our courses really are geared towards our natural learning environment in a very diverse place on campus, students from all across the globe, and a lot of opportunities for cultural exploration and global exploration as well. We have six different academic colleges. So, at this time, it's really getting to know what your students might be interested in studying. But just know that it's flexible. They don't have to commit to just one thing. I had a minor or two minors and one major. A lot of our students do combinations. Some of your students may also be undecided, and that's totally fine too. Undecided was actually our fifth most popular major for incoming students this year. But our arts and sciences, it does offer courses in like psychology. We have our pre-law programs, my personal favorite, performing arts, and anything to do with the humanities and the social sciences, as well as our School of Education for those that want to become teachers. We also have our natural and health sciences. So, like I said, studying at the volcano, studying marine science, biology, also our School of Nursing. We have our new data science program. So, these are all really awesome ways to just get immersed into the natural environment. And again, with really cool hands-on learning opportunities. The College of Agriculture, where students get to study agriculture, aquaculture, animal science, or our new aeronautical science program as well. So again, really AINA based, really getting the hands dirty, and a lot of really cool opportunities, not just on campus, but also at our off-campus farm in Panaeva and our aquaculture center in Keaukaha. Our College of Business and Economics is AACSB accredited, so your student might want to study accounting or business administration. We have 8 different concentration areas for them to choose from, everything ranging from finance to marketing to management. So whatever they want to explore in the areas of business, there's lots of opportunities to get involved, as well as a variety of different certificate options, such as sustainable tourism or even artificial intelligence for business. We have Kahakaula o Ke'elikolani, which is our College of Hawaiian Language, named after Princess Ruth Ke'elikolani. And this is where students can study Hawaiian studies or linguistics from faculty members who were instrumental in the Hawaiian revitalization movement, current recording artists, and lots of things in between. We also have our Kahua Viola Indigenous Education Program and even master's and PhD programs as well. And last but not least, the Daniel K. Inouye College of Pharmacy, the only pharmacy program in Hawaii. So you can get a PharmD in as little as 6 years. We also have what's called the Fast Track, or PHAST, which is a program where students enrolled at any of the 10 UH campuses can have a DKICP faculty advisor to make sure that they're getting through their prerequisite courses in order to apply for the PharmD program. And we also just launched a new extended online version for working professionals that cannot commit to school full time. That's just alternative option for students that they want to pursue this route. And a lot of your students may have aspirations to go far for college, but as we all know, that can be very expensive. So I also want you folks to know that we have wonderful opportunities for your student to get to experience the globe, not just at UH Hilo, but to different countries and different states. The National Student Exchange Program is a way for your student to get to go to one of about 150 different campuses across the US, the territories, and Canada at their UH home tuition price. So that's a super solid deal if they want to go to California, Washington, New York, or something in between. We also have study abroad. So if your student wants to go to Korea, Japan, New Zealand, Brazil, the UK, lots of different places for them to go. We have 36 universities across 18 countries in 4 continents. And same thing too, their UH Hilo home tuition can stay with them. And of course, the Semester at Sea program, your student can go on a cruise ship for a whole semester, visiting up to 15 different countries across Europe, Africa, and Asia. That one is more expensive though, but a really cool once in a lifetime adventure. UH Hilo's tuition price is also really affordable. So 7,632 per academic year for the 26 to 27 school year. So as you think about where to send your student off to college, really making sure that we understand the financial reality of what that means. But if you compare that to your average mainland universities, it really does save you a lot of money to stay in state, but still get that global experience through our exchange programs. And while your student is in school, we have a lot of access to different support services. So for those that are low income, first generation, or have disabilities, we have the TRIO Student Support Services program. We have our Kipuka Native Hawaiian Student Center, which offers peer mentors, tutoring, loanable technology. And of course, your students are coming to college to prepare for their careers. So Kipapa Ikialaka'i is our career center. They can assist with finding on-campus jobs, internship opportunities, or career development opportunities too. And UH Hilo does have dorms, so your student can live in one of 5 different residence halls. We do guarantee housing for all of our freshman applicants that apply by March 31st of every year. And whether that's singles, doubles, quads, apartments, there's something for everyone's budget range and privacy preference. And we're a Division II athletics program. So if your student likes to play sports or watch sports, there's potential involvement there as well. So come out and support our Vulcan athletes at their games. And then financial aid. So although we do have competitively affordable tuition, we know that means that college is not cheap by any means. So we always encourage our families to submit a FAFSA application in order to be eligible for different federal financial aid opportunities, such as the Pell Grant or work study. There's also state financial aid available, but some things that I really want to highlight for UH Hilo are the institutional scholarship applications. So we have the My Journey Essay Contest, we have the Chancellor Scholarship, the Hawaii Scholars Award, and we also are part of the UH System Common Scholarship application as well. Most of these scholarship deadlines are March 1st or March 2nd. So just be sure that your student is on track to complete those applications. Don't procrastinate because those deadlines come around really fast. And if you have any questions about financial aid, you are totally welcome to reach out to the financial aid office, and they can help you break down those opportunities or those cost of attendance numbers and anything like that. And with our application, we do require at least a 2.7 cumulative academic GPA, along with those 17 particular high school credits, including Algebra 2. If for some reason your student might be falling short of one of these requirements, please just reach out to me or one of my coworkers, and we'll gladly talk you through what those options are. We have our online application, and there is no application fee for Hawaii residents. So that's another plus. It doesn't cost anything to apply. And we are also part of the new Direct to UH application. So for your students that have a 2.7, they're able to fill out a really simple form to enroll at Hilo, West Oahu, and a community college of their choice. And I believe Manoa starting next year, question mark. Shauna can cover that too. And then priority deadline is February 1st and final deadline July 1st. So that's just the timeline there that we're working with. And of course, the best way for your student to get a feel if UH Hilo is the place for them is to take a campus tour. So if you folks are interested in coming over to the Big Island for a day or two, you can fill out our tour reservation form online, and one of our wonderful student workers will take you around the campus to show you the different facilities, residence halls, the gym, anything that your student might want to see. And if you have any questions, you can always contact us at UH Hilo Admissions, or you can contact me directly. The highlighted phone number is my work cell, so you're also welcome to text that if you would prefer. If your student has an Instagram account, or if you have an Instagram account, you can also follow us at UH Hilo Admissions. Our student workers post regular content on that page, and they also do respond to the DMs or the direct messages there. If you're on Facebook, we post the same content on Facebook as well. And the YouTube channel also has lots of wonderful footage of some of our campus life and traditions, such as international nights, United Nations Day, our Velina Bash from this fall, orientation, and other things that might be of interest. And that is it for the UH Hilo presentation. Again, my name is Landon Ballesteros. So if you do have any other questions about our application process or any of our academic programs or anything in between, I'm totally happy to answer those questions. So just contact me. Mahalo.
Mahalo, Landon. And I can tell you that I've been to UH Hilo. It's a beautiful campus. I've got to stay in the dorms as a visitor um during the Merry Monarch season. And I have a niece who graduated from there. So if you're interested in UH Hilo, definitely contact Landon, or if your Keiki is interested, it's never too early to start. Um, our next speaker is Jasmine Dela Cruz. And Jasmine is also not a novice. She's been with us before. She's an admissions officer for the University of Hawaii at West Oahu. She earned her bachelor's in mathematics in 2018 and her master's in education administration in the fall of 2024. She's an alumni from James Campbell High School and still resides in her hometown of Eva Beach. Jasmine has been working professionally in higher education for 6 years and is dedicated to serving the local students of Hawaii. In her current role, she hopes to aid first-year students and transfer students through the admissions process and help families navigate the higher education space. So I'm going to turn it over to Jasmine so she can share with you.
Thank you, Lisa. So I'll go ahead and share. Sorry. Full screen. Okay. Hi everyone, my name is Jasmine. I'm an admissions officer for UH West Oahu. My goal for this presentation is that everyone walks away knowing what programs we offer, a little bit about student life, cost of attendance, how to apply, and all of those things. So West Oahu, we're located out in Kapolei, west side of Oahu. We are a part of the University of Hawaii system, which is a 10 campus system, and we are also a four-year university just like UH Hilo and UH Manoa. Then you can see from our vision here that we are an Indigenous serving institution. And what that means is we're deeply committed to serving our local community. One thing that makes us different from the other UH campuses, because they're also Indigenous serving, is that we're a smaller campus. So on average, we tend to see about 3,000 students in total. You won't see 3,000 students in person because a lot of our students are online. And we're hoping that number grows as our campus continues to grow. But we want to make sure that our average class size and student faculty ratio remain relatively small. The benefits of attending a smaller university is that you do have more opportunity to connect with your peers being in the smaller classes, as well as more opportunity to develop a relationship with your professor. And I always emphasize how important it is for students to build that relationship with their professor, just because after college, we're going to be applying for jobs, going into the workforce, and on those job applications, they ask for professional references. Straight out of college, students might not have many options to choose from, so those professional references may very well be their professors. So no matter what college you go to, you want to encourage your students to get themselves out of their comfort zone and build that relationship with their professor. So just so that they can speak highly of them when they're applying for these jobs. And then also putting things into perspective, at larger universities, lecture classes can go up to 200 students. So you can imagine the level of intimidation it could be to participate in a class size that big. And parents, you know your students, if they're a little bit shyer, it might be more beneficial for them to go to a more comfortable learning environment with the smaller classroom sizes. So our academic programs, we currently have 9 baccalaureate degrees with 45 concentration areas or majors and 16 certificate programs. And we'll talk a little bit about those in detail later on. But first, I wanted to highlight some of the support services we have available for our students. So some academic support, we do have peer tutoring. What's great about our tutoring center is that it's student run. So their tutors will be their classmates, usually junior or senior level, who have mastered like the beginning level classes like English, math, we have business. And also what's great about our tutoring services is that they offer walk-in appointments. So if your student is ever on campus, maybe run into some problems doing their homework, as long as our tutoring center is open, there's always going to be a tutor on duty who can help them. They also have walk-in appointments via Zoom as well. So if they're at home, they can Zoom in through our portals that way. And then all students are assigned an academic advisor based off of their major, and their academic advisor is the #1 accountability buddy to make sure that their students are on track to graduation. Next, we have a variety of the modalities in which we offer our classes. So we do have online, hybrid, and in-person classes. Some of our students have graduated with their degrees completely online, so it is possible. However, it's not always a guarantee that the classes your student needs will be offered in their preferred modality. So just make sure that your student is meeting with their academic advisor regularly. And then last but not least, we have orientation for our students to help them with the transition from high school to college. So these are all 9 baccalaureate degrees that we offer at UH West Oahu, and then all 45 concentration areas listed on this screen. So hopefully if you take a quick scan, I know it's a little bit messy to see up here on the screen, and you might notice that some of these concentration areas have an asterisk at the end. This means that it's a continued pathway from one of our community colleges. So for example, if we're looking at culinary management, this is a continued pathway from Kapiolani Community College. And unfortunately, students are not able to enroll in any of the concentrations with an asterisk until they've earned their associate's degree from the community college. So going back to culinary management, for example, students will have graduated from Kapiolani with their associate's degree and have learned the chef cooking skills. And then the continued pathway at West Oahu is the management side. It's 2 more years to earn their bachelor's degree, and it's about how to run your kitchen or how to run your restaurant. And then these are the 16 certificate programs that we have. So I describe a certificate as almost like a minor. It's something a student is interested in learning and wants a specialization in, but doesn't necessarily want to spend 4 years learning that topic. So this is a pathway, like a shorter pathway, smaller cluster of classes, about 16 to 21 credits on top of their program of study. So our creative media program is one of our fastest growing programs at West Oahu right now. There's 4 concentration areas under creative media. The first is general creative media. So we always encourage our students to first start out with general if they don't know what specifically they want to go into, or if they want a little bit of everything. Communications and new media technologies. This is in partnership with our business programs for students who are interested in like public relations or marketing, or want to become entrepreneurs or business owners. This focuses on the graphic side of how to develop their brand for their business. Next, design and media focuses on film, animation, and digital art. And then last but not least, we have video game design and development, kind of self-explanatory. If they want to create their own video game or develop their own mobile app, this would be the concentration for them. Our creative media building is one of our most beautiful buildings on campus and also one of our most expensive. It was built in 2019 and it's worth $37 million without all of the technology inside. It does have a outdoor amphitheater where we host movie nights throughout the semester for our students. We also tend to play Moana from time to time just because we have special copyrights to that movie since the Olelo Hawaii translation was done on our campus. And then on the opposite side, we do have a 100-seat Dolby Atmos certified theater. We have a post-production side of the house that has PC labs and Mac labs, also an esports arena. And then our pre-production side of the house is where students will produce their films, as well as create props for their films through with our mill shop and our 3D printer. And then our pre-nursing pathway, this is a fairly new, or it has special admissions criteria for students who are interested in our pre-nursing pathway. We do have a partnership with UH Manoa, where our students are guaranteed 24 seats in their program. So the chances of getting into nursing, so keep in mind that for students who are interested in nursing, it is a very competitive program wherever you go. So it's something to consider at UH West Oahu just because the chances of getting into nursing are a lot higher on our campus. Our cohorts tend to be about 60 students, and then since we're guaranteed those 24 seats at Manoa, chances of getting into nursing are a lot higher at our campus. Other benefits of our pre-nursing program at West Oahu is we have free parking on campus, there's no traffic on the way to campus, and since we're the newest built UH campus, all of our buildings are brand new, our equipment is brand new, so you're going to be working with all of those brand new things. Another benefit is when you eventually become a Manoa student, yes, you're going to be paying Manoa tuition, but your classes will still be taught at UH West Oahu, so you still get to benefit from working in the brand new labs and our free parking. Okay, and these are some of our newer programs that we have at West Oahu. Cybersecurity is the closest concentration we have for those who might be interested in computer science, but the software side. And our cybersecurity program is the only program in the state of Hawaii that's Homeland Security certified. And then Hawaiian and Indigenous health and healing. These are cultural healing practices, and I believe West Oahu is the only UH campus to have this program specifically. And then new certificate programs in Hawaiian language and Hawaiian Pacific studies. Okay, so that was all of our academics, and just know that college is not all about academics and studying. It's also about getting involved on campus and building your support system, because studies are showing that the community around you is the #1 motivating factor to get students to graduation. So no matter what campus they go to, just want to make sure that your students are surrounding yourself around people who will help them along the way. And these are some of the events that we've hosted on our campus. Again, the purpose of these events is to help students find community and find a sense of belonging on our campus. So you can see there are social events like Mukbang Monday and movie nights, like I mentioned before. We also have more professional events like career fairs. And although we don't have any NCAA sports, we do have intramural sports, which I describe as like club sports. So you're only going to be playing against schools who have intramural teams. Currently, I believe we only have flag football, volleyball, baseball, dodgeball, and soccer. If a student does want to play an intramural sport and there's no team available, it's fairly easy to start your own team. They just need 5 other friends to start a team. Okay, and although we don't have any on-campus housing, we do have a partnership with a neighbor college at Hawaii Tokai International College. We have 50 rooms available for our students to dorm there. So they can choose from either a double or a quad, and those prices are listed per semester. So unfortunately, they have to have roommates no matter what option they go with. And they are required to purchase a meal plan just because the Tokai dorms do not have kitchen facilities. So for admissions, it's fairly simple to apply. You just submit an online application, and then after you submit your application, you're going to send us their high school transcript. And on their transcript, we're only going to be looking for two things, which is a 2.7 GPA and these 22 high school courses, including Algebra 2, just like UH Hilo. I will say if there's anything your student is worried about on the right side of the screen, we do still recommend they apply. We're just going to ask for additional documents to help strengthen their application. So notice we don't ask for any test scores, no essay, no letter of rec. It's meant to be a very low stress application because we're Indigenous serving. We want as many of our local students to come to college and get that education. And then just like UH Hilo, it's free for Hawaii residents to apply to UH West Oahu and any of the UH campuses. And we are also a part of the Direct to UH application. So if a student already meets those admissions criteria, we actually recommend they go through this application just because it's shorter. It takes students about average 5 minutes to complete. And I believe the hardest question is what's their social security number because most students don't know that information. Um, and then after this application, they get their admissions decision right away. So UH West Oahu is the most affordable four-year university in the state of Hawaii. Our resident tuition is a little under $8,000 for the entire 26-27 school year. But keep in mind you're only paying per semester, so what you're paying is half of this price before any financial aid is applied. And we do have financial aid resources available for our students. So one of our financial aid guys, Frank Green, he's a part of our Hawaii P20 team, and he does host info sessions throughout the semester to help with things like FAFSA and scholarships. One of his info sessions is a FAFSA 101 workshop where he goes through the FAFSA line by line to help students fill it out as accurately as possible. And you don't need to be a UH West Oahu Perspective student in order to attend those info sessions. This is a service that he does for the entire community. And we have a few scholarship opportunities. We have two opportunities for full tuition awards through our Regents and our Chancellor Scholarship. Both of those scholarships are merit-based, so what we're looking for is at least a 3.5 GPA. But of course, the higher the better because it is a very competitive scholarship. And in addition to your GPA, we're also looking for community service hours and leadership skills. And you can apply for these scholarships through the UH System Common Scholarship application. And through this Common Scholarship application, there's also partial tuition awards, and you'll be considered for multiple scholarships under that one application. We do award one Regent Scholar and four Chancellor Scholarships. So chances are kind of there to get these scholarships. Our applications are due March 3rd. Just make sure that you're planning ahead and keeping those dates in mind because these deadlines are before our applications are due, which is July 1st. And in order to apply for these scholarships, students will need a UHID number, and they don't get that until they've applied to one of our campuses. So make sure that your student is planning ahead. Okay, and then this is my information. Please feel free to take a picture of this slide. My phone number and my email is there just in case you want to, if you have any questions about UH West Oahu or if you want to talk story about college in general, I'm available.
Mahalo, Jasmine. Um, for the very first time, I want to say in December, I got to visit UH West Oahu. And I mean, it's been around for I don't know how many years, but I just haven't gone out there and walked around the campus. But I went for a meeting and it is beautiful. It is the newest. So everything is brand spanking new. The room that I was in, like brand new tables and chairs. If you get a chance and you want to go to campus and take a look around, like it's a beautiful campus. And of course, one of the benefits is the free parking because at Manoa, you pay for parking and it can get expensive and it's a hike for many of the students because they have to park in the structure. But at West Oahu, we just pulled into the parking lot, no stress, you know. So if you live on the leeward side, it's a great benefit to be able to attend West Oahu out there. And contact Jasmine. She'd be more than willing to help you if that's your choice of schools that you want to look into. Um, so mahalo, Jasmine. And our third speaker for tonight comes from UH Manoa, Shauna Pimentel Motooka is the Associate Director of Admissions, overseeing Hawaii recruitment and scholarships, an admissions professional with over 20 years of experience within the field in both the private and public sectors. Um, she also is not a novice to speaking for Project Hokuleni. So we're really, really happy to have her back and welcome her to share her thoughts and her expertise with you tonight. Okay, turning it over to you, Shauna.
Awesome. Okay, you can see my screen. Yes. Okay. Awesome. Okay. So, I am representing the University of Hawaii at Manoa. And so we are the flagship university of the University of Hawaii system, founded in 1907. If you can imagine, starting with just one building, which housed everything, the cafeteria, the classrooms, which is our Hawaii Hall, and has now expanded to 320 acres. So that white outline you see is our entire campus. To give you an idea of scale, though, so I park on lower campus, so you can see where those cars are near Stan Sheriff. That is our Zone 20. To walk up to Queen Lili'uokalani Center, where my office is, it's about 7 to 10 minutes, so doable. But if you're going from somewhere like Hawaii Nui Akea all the way to the Shiloh College of Business, that might be about 20 minutes. So there is a shuttle, though, that circles around the campus, so not too bad. Okay, so our demographics, we are predominantly Hawaii residents, and that's exactly where we want to be, serving our local population, coming in at about 60%. We have 34% coming from the US continent and 6% coming from international locations. Within that 6%, we have 96 different countries and regions represented. So we are considered a medium-sized institution with 20,404 students in our total undergraduate, graduate, doctoral program. So you probably won't see everyone all at once. In college, you are creating your own class schedule. So you may have classes on only certain days, but it is a nice, robust campus where things are always happening. So you will have different perspectives shared in the classroom, which is nice as a result of the very diverse mix of people coming. We have a 13:1 student to faculty ratio. And to give you an idea, our average class size for your first 2 years is typically about 47 students. And then for your junior and senior year, comes down to almost about 30 students. And so you still have the opportunity to interact with your faculty, interact with your peers, and have that experience at UH Manoa. Here's the 97 different majors that we offer at Manoa, literally from A, accounting, all the way to Z, zoology. So lots to pick from. I know this can be a little intimidating initially when you're looking at that, like, how am I ever going to pick what I want to do? We do have an amazing team of academic advisors. So all of our different colleges has their own advising units. They will work with you. If you know what you want to do from the get-go, fantastic. They will make sure that you're taking all the right classes in the right sequence so we can get you graduated as soon as possible. If you're still unsure, that's totally fine. About 40% of students across the nation still come in as undecided. And that's where we have some exploratory things that you can take and really discover where your passion lies. We also have our BAM, so that's our bachelor's and master program. And so in doing this, you would do your first 3 years purely undergraduate. In your fourth year, you start subbing in some graduate level classes. So then in your fifth year, that's a full-time graduate student, and you complete both degrees in just 5 years. We also have our pre-health and pre-law advising. And so they're working with students regardless of where they end up wanting to go for medical school or law school. They can make sure you're hitting all the marks, checking all the boxes so that you can be a successful candidate to apply to these schools. And of course, at Manoa, we have JABSOM for medical school, and we have the Richardson School of Law as well if you want to stay local. So UH Manoa is our Research One institution. We have the Land, Sea, Sun, and Space designation. We're consistently ranked in the top 2% of universities in the world and many different world-renowned programs. This image you see right here is actually Moku'olo'e, and it is the world's only research facility built on a coral reef atoll. So also known as Coconut Island if you're on the windward side, but it is actually a coral reef. And so we have faculty, we have students, they will go out there on a boat, spend the whole day there doing their research. They're doing really interesting things with 3D printing ceramics, and they're making simulated reefs as well to see what the coral keiki kind of gravitate toward more. And so what is really interesting is that it's only about a couple miles off of the coral reef atoll that it is deep ocean. So they can go and do their studies in deep ocean just by hopping on a boat, and maybe 10 minutes later they're out there. And so lots of great opportunities for research there. We have our hospitality and tourism, very popular, that being one of the largest industries in Hawaii. They're doing an extensive amount of internships, usually about 200 hours. It can be done locally. We've had some students go out to Japan and do their internship over the summer out there. So really getting lots of different experiences, even though you're choosing to come to a local school. Our School of Engineering is one of our oldest. They have the mechanical, the electrical, computer engineering, biological engineering, so lots of different things to pick. If you're the type of student who's always thinking about how things work, engineering might be a good fit for you, because anytime we walk past their labs, they are tinkering with things, they're building things, they have their Formula One racer out there that they take to the continent and compete every year. So many different things that you can do at UH Manoa. In addition to the academics, of course, there is fun. We want to see you grow as a whole person. And so here's some of the images of things that we have going on campus. We have, of course, our athletic programs. We're Division One. We have our concerts we do at the end of every semester. Here's some of the clubs having fun. We have over 200 different student organizations. This is our Warrior Rec Center. This one is the Taste of Manoa. So lots of different ways that you can get involved and engaged in our campus. There are things that are academically based, so based on your major. There are things just for fun. And so you can go out and explore. At the start of each semester, we'll have a big club week of welcome. And so you can get to know more about all the different things that we offer. For student housing, we have this as an option. It is not a requirement for any of our students. So our Hale Aloha Towers is primarily for our freshman students. They have their cafeteria on the ground floor. We have Johnson, if you like a little more quiet. Gateway, usually for our upperclassmen. Freer is open to all our freshmen to seniors. That's the only air-conditioned one. So if that's important to you, remember Freer Hall. And then we have the apartment style ones in the back. You can sign up for student housing at any point. We also have two newer options that are on campus as well, but operated through a separate company. So that one would be a year-long lease. These ones are semester-based. To join us at UH Manoa, this is what we typically want to see. You can see our 4 units of English, 3 of math, science, social sciences, and 4 college prep, 5 units of electives. Typically, our students graduating in Hawaii will have these requirements, so we're not that worried. The only program for fall 27 that will require test scores is nursing. So keep that in mind if you're applying to nursing at UH Manoa, you want to take SAT or ACT. For all other majors, optional. In most cases, we're actually test blind, so we're not looking at that. It's just nursing that you want to prepare for that one. Our Hawaii residents do not have to pay an application fee, so you would not worry about that either. At the end of our application, it will ask you if you're a Hawaii resident, say yes, and then we bypass the whole payment screen. So joining us at UH Manoa, any student graduating from a Hawaii-based high school will receive our resident rate. So that's the first column that you see there on the left. Our tuition is $11,520 currently. And then to help offset that, we do offer scholarships. And so the important thing is apply early. You see in that last column where it says awarded based on availability, apply early. So typically our application will open September, and then usually around January is when things start kind of running out. So I would definitely recommend applying in the fall. We have our Manoa Academic Merit, which is up to $4,000, and you want to have at least a 3.2 to 4.0 to qualify for that. And then we also have our more selective scholarships. So we are already closed for this year, but for any of our underclassmen, keep in mind that you want to apply by January 5th at the latest, because you do need to be accepted in order to apply for these scholarships. Our Regent Scholarship is the full tuition, annual stipend, and a one-time travel grant that can be used for studying abroad or for conferences. And that is awarded to 16 students across the state. Then we have our Provost Achievement Scholarship. That is $10,000 per year. As I mentioned, tuition is $11,520, so taking a big chunk off as a Provost Achievement Scholarship recipient. And that is awarded to 800 students across the state. And so those are the two for our Hawaii residents. You want to have at least a 3.7, and you will have a list of activities and your essay response to submit before January 15th to be considered for that. So currently, you will have to apply through our main application, manoa.hawaii.edu/admissions. Our fall application is the only one open right now. Usually about March, April is when the spring will open up for spring 27. Some of the important things to note when you're doing our application: you want to have your social security number, because that's what we use to link up your FAFSA information. So if you're planning to do the FAFSA, it's definitely important to enter in your social security number so we can create that link. Another tip I want to say is it is fantastic if you speak more than one language. But in this case, when we ask, what is your native language? English. Because if not, typically we will have our students do English placement exam, or they will have to do for admissions one of our English tests. So that could be something like TOEFL, Duolingo, SAT or ACT is acceptable as well. But if you're bilingual, let's go with English so we don't have to do that extra step. Another area where some students get a little hung up would be when they are entering in their transcript for us. So we do have space for you to type everything out, but we do have the feature where you can click, I plan to upload your transcript, just upload it. And then we can see that and make the admissions decision that way too. So once you are ready to apply to Manoa, you do have to create a login. So you're going to see the screen, you'll create an account, and then you'll be able to access the application. For fall 27, we will be a part of Direct2UH, but that is only for our DOE students. So if you are a charter school student or a private school student, you're still going to do this application that you see on the screen too. And that wraps it up for me. Here's my email and my direct number. So if you ever have any questions, you can reach out to me directly. On the top, though, is our general email and our main line. So if you ever want a student perspective, because it's been a long time since I was a student, you can always call or email the first two, and those are responded to by our students. So you can get that as well.
Mahalo, Shauna. Wow. You folks got a lot of information tonight from our three speakers, and I think each one had something different that you could take away with. Do you have any questions for them on the admissions process, on any of the majors or minors that they talked about? I was really impressed with the different majors that were being offered. Um, so I have to mention that this morning I did a site visit to the new Liliokalani Center on Ward, and I was super duper impressed by their media. resources that they have there. They can do filming, they can do music, theater, all kinds of things. But the one thing that stuck in my mind, and I texted my husband right away while we were there, and I took some pictures. I said, my husband he's the lead on an audio visual team for the Association of Hawaiian Civic Clubs, and he has an intern that works with him that he trains, who is actually out at UH West Oahu in one of the media programs out there. And I told my husband, I said, we got to get him to go and do a visit to that center, because looking at things like after graduation and, what can he do? Like, that is a huge resource there, and the equipment. Um, but Jasmine, also, I wanted to mention that with Native Hawaiian Student Services and the Pono Eau, about 3 years back, we had a melee class that was taught by Sean Pimentel and Lehua Kalima, and they went out to visit your studios at West Oahu. I didn't get to go. I was so bummed because I wanted to see it, but they went out there, and the students got to go into the studio, see, like, do some recording, just doing some testing, and I think it's a great way to get these students interested in a specific campus or a major and to match them up. So, all to say that when you're listening, not every campus is going to be the right fit for your child. You have to really figure out what are they interested in and which is the best campus for it, right? And it could be any one of the three university campuses with us tonight, or it could be going to a community college first. But I think each one has distinct benefits that you can take away that will really give your child that edge on what they want to do. Anyone have any questions for them? Okay. Just some reminders. So if you did not fill out a WH1, UH does require that you fill out a WH1 prior to us sending you your Mahalo gift for coming, which is a gift card that's sent, from what I understand, at the end of the semester. I did drop the link to the WH1 in the chat if you still need to do that. If you've already done that, don't worry, then you're good to go. Also, I drop the link to tonight's feedback form in the chat. That is used to record your attendance that you were here tonight, but it's also used so that we know that you qualify for the gift card because you attended the session. Okay. I do have one question in the chat, and it's what's considered successful completion of those high school fundamental courses? Is it a C or higher? Anyone, any of the three of you can answer that if you know the answer to that question.
For Manoa general admission, C is fine. That meets the minimum requirement, so we're good there. For some of our more competitive programs, like our nursing, the higher the score, the better, because they are really competing for a limited amount of seats. And so you definitely want to do your absolute best if you're going for our competitive ones, like nursing or engineering.
Okay. Mahalo, Shauna. What about West Oahu or Hilo? What would be an acceptable grade?
So for Hilo, we actually do take a D is technically passing, but keep in mind that our minimum GPA is a 2.7, which is about a B minus average. So we do have students, maybe they got a D in algebra, but they got straight A's and everything else. That's totally fine. So yeah.
Yeah, it would be the same at West Oahu. D is technically passing, so they earned the credit for that class. But I also want to mention that it's not about just meeting the minimum when it comes to college admissions. And I know that for some of our admissions requirements, we only require maybe like 3 years of math. We actually encourage students, if they can, to take math their senior year just to keep that muscle practicing because you're not going to run away from the subject when you go to college. You still have to take those general core requirements, right? So just want to make sure that the student is well prepared for college. So if you can, go above and beyond.
And I would imagine that the higher the grade you get, the higher your GPA, and the better chance you have of getting some of those um, financial aid scholarships or grants that have a minimum GPA requirement. So you also want to keep that in mind because it's really hard to try to catch up at the end. It's better if you start and you're consistent from the very beginning. Yeah, great question. Anyone else have any questions? Okay. Well, mahalo to our speakers for coming tonight. It's always nice to have you back. Mahalo to our parents. And if any of your children are with you, great. We loved having you. And don't forget to fill out the survey form. The link is in the chat so that we can make sure that we record your attendance for tonight. Next month's parent workshop is on March 25th, and we will be having speakers who will be talking about their summer bridge programs. So we hope to see you then. Otherwise, have a good evening and mahalo.